Hello everyone, continuing from the previous episode, we mentioned that Xun'er led troops through thousands of miles to rescue her husband. The master of the Ice River Valley and an elder from the Soul Hole ended up with one dead and one escaped. Just as Xiao Yan was feeling grateful and proud of the deep affection between Xun'er and himself, he noticed that Little Doctor Immortal and Xun'er had exchanged glances. On one side was enduring companionship, life and death together, and on the other was childhood innocence with love deeply rooted. In the tense atmosphere filled with a hint of gunpowder, Xiao Yan had no choice but to introduce the two women to each other. Little Doctor Immortal and Xun'er almost simultaneously smiled gently and stepped forward to extend their hands gracefully. Seeing the relatively peaceful interaction between the two, Xiao Yan secretly breathed a sigh of relief. But the smile that had just appeared on his face froze in the next second because he noticed gray air currents and golden flames rising from where they shook hands. Anxious and frustrated, Xiao Yan quickly stepped forward to separate the two women, only to find that they were faster than him. Before coming, I heard about Sister Little Doctor Immortal's formidable poison body. Now that I've met you, your reputation is indeed well deserved. But in the meantime, thank you for taking care of Brother Xiao Yan, Xun'er said, stepping back a little and rubbing her hand. In response, Little Doctor Immortal smiled warmly. I've also heard Xiao Yan mention you many times. Now that I've met you, you indeed stand out as a unique beauty. No wonder he can't stop thinking about you. Although the words exchanged between the two women seemed particularly amicable, Xiao Yan's intuition sensed trouble brewing. He immediately diverted the topic, noting that this wasn't the best place for a chat. Hearing this, the two women nodded slightly and fell silent. Thus, surrounded by many members of the Yi family, the group headed to the Yi family meeting hall. After Yi Zhong and others excused themselves, Xiao Yan sat heavily in a chair, baring his teeth. The strong aftereffects of the Heavenly Fire 3 mysterious change would have laid him flat if not for his robust constitution. Gently pushing a teacup towards Xiao Yan, Xun'er softly inquired about his plans. Xiao Yan wanted to go to the Soul Hole to rescue his teacher. Xun'er was not surprised, but she didn't support the idea either. Firstly, the battle with the Ice River Valley had already exposed most of the power by Xiao Yan's side. The Soul Hole would surely be on guard. Moving Yao Lao ahead of time while setting up a trap wouldn't be impossible. Secondly, Xun'er couldn't stay out for long this time. 10 days was already the limit. The ancient clan couldn't serve as a backup for Xiao Yan in officially opposing the Soul Hole. So, the rescue of Yao Chen and Xiao Zhan needed to be postponed. After carefully analyzing all the pros and cons, Xiao Yan remained silent for a while before finally promising, I won't actively seek out the Soul Hole in the short term. Hearing this, Xun'er finally breathed a sigh of relief and said, Elder Yao Chen is not an ordinary Dozun. The Soul Hole won't easily take his life. Once I return, I will tap into the ancient clan's resources to locate Elder Yao Chen's place of captivity. If there's any news, someone will be sent to inform you immediately. Xiao Yan nodded slightly, once again realizing that he needed to quickly enhance his power. He must acquire the 3,000 flames. While Xiao Yan was recovering his injuries in his room, Xun'er made a sudden visit. Sensing her presence, Xiao Yan smiled at the window of the room, saying, Since you're here, why are you hiding? Flashing in front of Xiao Yan, Xun'er smiled. It's so late, yet Brother Xiao Yan isn't resting? Without saying a word, Xiao Yan looked at the particularly elegant and captivating girl in front of him, unable to resist grabbing her hand. Blushing, Xun'er sat gracefully on the edge of Xiao Yan's bed, rested her head on his shoulder, and whispered, Brother Xiao Yan, Xun'er missed you over these years. Hearing this, warmth filled Xiao Yan's heart. His hand slipped down to her waist, pulling Xun'er closer. Xiao Yan kissed her hair, and Xun'er nestled into his embrace. After a while, she tilted her head and handed him a golden scroll. It contained the next 3 seals of the Emperor imprint art. Brother Xiao Yan, don't refuse this. Central Continent isn't like the Black Corner region. There are many strong fighters here. Having more means of survival is much safer. Xun'er can't stay here either, so you can't make excuses to turn this down. Looking at the scroll before him, Xiao Yan didn't hesitate too long before accepting it. He knew clearly that only by becoming stronger could he protect the people he wanted to protect. Seeing him accept the scroll, Xun'er's lips curled up slightly. Then, Xun'er began discussing the Tuoshi ancient emperor's Jade with Xiao Yan. The Tuoshi ancient emperor had left behind a Do Emperor mansion hidden in a void space on the Do-Chi continent. The mansion was well preserved and might have treasures and a way to advance to Do Emperor. Since ancient times, few had broken through to Do Emperor. The Do Emperors of the past seemed to have vanished overnight. The Tuoshi ancient emperor's Jade is the key to the Do Emperor mansion. Xun'er reminded Xiao Yan never to reveal the Tuoshi ancient emperor's Jade he held without absolute strength. Besides the soul hole, there were major differences within the ancient clan regarding the ownership of the Xiao family's Tuoshi ancient emperor's Jade. Even though a pact existed between the ancient clan and the Xiao family, given the Xiao family's recent decline, it was hard to ensure that some ancient clan's powerhouses wouldn't act independently. In that case, Xiao Yan's situation could become extremely dangerous. The soul hole captured Xiao Yan's father for the Tuoshi ancient emperor's Jade. As for the pact between the ancient Xiao and Gu families, the once mighty Xiao family was among the top forces on the continent, and Xiao Xian was an exceptionally talented figure. In just a few centuries, he reached the continent's pinnacle. Back then, only 4 people had the power to challenge the Xiao family leader, Xiao Xian. The alliance and pact between the Xiao family and the ancient clan were established then. However, the alliance was made as Xiao Xian fell. Due to past favors received from Xiao Xian, the ancient clan agreed to look after the Xiao family, especially at crucial moments to preserve its bloodline.